There
How
we
you
go.
doing, brother?
You all right, David? Nice to see you, man. Nice to meet you. How are you?
Yeah, doing good. Nice to meet you as well.
You too.
It's
Good.
always good. It's
Thanks.
always good to meet a legend of boxing.
Oh, no, I appreciate that, man. Wicked. I'm glad you know who I am, actually, because you're only a young man, aren't you? What, you're 20, 28 years old?
Yeah, I watched you fight a lot when you knocked out Groves, you knocked out Jermaine Taylor, knocked out a whole bunch of people in that era.
Oh, I'm glad to hear it, man. You remember the Jermaine Taylor one as well? That was back in,
Yeah,
I think,
yeah,
that
12th
was
round.
2000. That was
Yeah,
2009. That was. How old was you then? You must have been a spring
I was
chicken then.
I was young. I was super young, probably like 10.
Oh, that's good, man. You're saying that you won the WBC at 21, didn't you? Youngest ever to win the title.
20.
20. I think I was 30. I didn't turn pro till I was 25 there.
That's crazy.
Right, David, I'm going to get straight into it, mate. Welcome to Froch on Fighting, the best boxing channel in the business, if I do say so myself. Right, you're facing Anthony Yarde on November 22nd. What's your assessment of him? He's been in with a ring with likes of Beterbiev and Sergey Kovalev, so he's been in with quite a lot of people. He tends to, he's lost a couple at top level. But do you rate him and how do you assess his fight?
Yeah, I have a lot of respect for Anthony Yarde. I've been watching him for a long time, even from before he fought Sergey Kovalev. I've always been a fan of boxing, so I like to watch the upcoming talent. And in that year before he fought Kovalev, he was a dangerous fighter. He has a good defense. He has good counter shots. So, like I said, I've had my eye on him for a while. He's been in there with some tough fighters, Artur Beterbiev, Sergey Kovalev. He's came up short. But nonetheless, he's a great fighter with tremendous heart. So I've trained extremely hard for this fight. I have about 4 months training. So by the time the camp is done, it's going to be 4 months and a half. And you know, I know he's a great fighter. I know he's gonna. I feel like he knows that he has his back against the wall. That this is the last time at a world title. So he's going to be coming in extremely ready. But that is what excites me. I like fighting fighters that train extremely hard, that know that this is their last chance. And like I said, this is just going to make a good fight for the fans, for the people at home, and for the people in Riyadh. So I'm excited to give the fans a great fight.
Absolutely. I'm really looking forward to this one, actually, because he's got a bit of a... I don't want to downplay anybody else's style or anything, but he fights a little bit like Roy Jones. He likes the flariness, doesn't he? The sharp movement, head movement. He likes the counter punch, and he's got that flary style, quite nice to watch on the eye sometimes. When he's in control and when he's winning the fight, he's nice to watch like Roy Jones when he was dominating. Do you sort of work on that when you've been having sparring for somebody geared towards the way he fights, or are you just going to do what you do?
No, yeah, I definitely have people that have a similar type of fighting style. But yeah, we've been working on a lot of counters. We've been working on a lot of jabs, and I'm just gonna go in there, be myself. A high volume puncher, very accurate puncher, and then dig to the body. And hopefully he goes in there, gives me a good fight, because the people that give me good fights, it elevates me and myself and my style to bring the best out of myself. So that's definitely what I want.
Absolutely. I don't know if you saw the fight of the weekend. This one's for the British fans, actually. Joshua Boatsy won. A lot of people say he got lucky, but he says he wants to face the winner out of you and Yarde. Does that fight with Boatsy interest you at all? And did you see the fight?
Yeah, I actually didn't see the fight. I was gonna watch the highlights earlier, but I didn't watch them. But Buatsi is a great fighter. I was there live when he fought Calvin Smith. So
Oh.
that's the one that fought Calvin Smith, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, he's a great fighter too. He's a strong fighter. So if he wants to fight, then yeah, we could get it done. I want to fight all the best, all the top fighters at 175. And yeah, man. Like I said, I'm here for a reason. I'm world champion for a reason. I want to show everybody that I'm the best fighter in the world, and that's exactly what I intend on doing. But Buatsi, he's a great fighter. I like about him that he comes straight forward. He's a power punch fighter. That fight with him and Calvin Smith was a great fight. It's an exciting fight. So if we ever get in the ring, it's basically going to be a fight like Anthony Yarde too. An exciting fighter that goes forward. But I feel like with me, my accuracy, and the way I control the fight, I think I'll definitely break him down. And like I said, I'm here for a reason. I definitely want to show these people I'm the best in the world. So hopefully we can get it done one day.
Absolutely. I'll tell you what, someone else who managed to not step in the ring with you, whether he was avoiding you or not, and a lot of people argue pros and cons against that, but Canelo at super middleweight, I mean, that's a fight that a lot of people wanted to see but never materialised. Do you believe he genuinely avoided you, Canelo?
To be honest with you, I don't know. I don't know what he does, and I'm not gonna sit here and say that he avoided me or not. Let's just look at the facts. The facts is that Canelo fights for money. The facts is that he says he's not ever scared of nobody. This is the biggest. This would have been one of the biggest fights in boxing. It would have been bigger than him and Crawford. Um, it would have been a big paycheck for both of us, and this is a fight that he definitely would have got a lot of respect from the people if he went in there and beat me. I don't know what, I don't know why that fight didn't happen. It should have happened. It would have been one of the best fights in Mexican boxing history. It would have been a big pay-per-view seller. And if he would have came in there and beat me, he would have got all the respect from all the people. So, I mean, I don't know why it didn't happen. I don't know if it's ever going to happen, but I feel like that would be it would be a shame if it doesn't ever happen, because at the end of the day, what are we here for? We're here to give the boxing fans the fights they want to see and to give them great fights. I believe in myself 100%. I believe that I'll go in there and beat Canelo. If he believes that himself too, then why didn't he just show the people and get the respect he deserves?
Yeah, true. He does get a lot of. I mean, a lot of people, when they talk about your fight with Canelo, potential fight with Canelo, they've kind of got you as the winner because of the young freshness, the aggressive style. I mean, Canelo, you can't. I'm not going to downplay Canelo's achievements because he's been in with almost everybody and he's had a great career, but he's not unbeaten. And your style and I think your youth and enthusiasm when that fight could have happened. I watched your fight against Caleb Plant and I just thought, Plant's a great fighter and he's tricky as well. And the way that fight went and you dealt with it, I just thought that's a tough fight for Canelo. Maybe not. He thought it was the same. But what did you think about him fighting Terence Crawford? What was your reaction to that win for Crawford?
I think it was a great win for Crawford. I feel like with Canelo, I don't know what's going on with him. His punch output, it was already low to start off with, but it's getting even lower as the fights go by. He throws only like 10 punches around. So it really doesn't make sense. I don't know if the money's getting to him or if he just thinks that these fights are easy, because he had a shirt that said easy money with the fight when he was, for the press tour against Crawford. So, I mean, I feel like he just thought that he was going to hurt Crawford with one shot, but that's what happens when you don't train properly for fights. It bites you in the ass.
Yeah, exactly. Maybe, I mean, he's had over 60 fights. He's towards the end of his career, getting paid really well as well. When you're getting that Saudi bunts, the big money, you do wonder where the ambition is then after that, because he's had a great career and he's earned a lot of money. So I don't know.
But the way I see it is that he's with this fight, we probably got $150 million. So that's the type of performance you give for $150 million. Like if you're making $150 million and you can make even more the next fight, how is that the performance you're gonna give?
Yeah, well, we've debated whether or not the money that actually comes in, the kind of money they're getting paid, especially with the inclusion of Saudi Arabia now, and Turkish Sheikh, that money kind of, once you've made that massive money, then kind of your desire and the love for the sport, you've kind of completed it then, haven't you? Once you've got a stupid amount of money, you kind of wonder to yourself, why am I doing it now? I could get hurt. Any fighter can get hurt. And why take the risk if you've already got the money that's going to set you and your future generations up? So there is that argument. But I know what you mean. The performance was a bit lackluster. There was no punch output and never really seemed to go for it, did he, against Crawford? Whether or not Crawford's that good and that tricky. But could you see yourself ever returning to super middleweight to face someone like Crawford or Canelo?
No, I mean, to be honest, no. I'm done with 168. I think it's in my best interest to give myself the best chance to win. And what I always think about is like Ryan Garcia when he fought at 140 and then he went back down to 135. He just looked extremely weak. And my sights, I don't know, disrespect to Crawford. He's a great fighter, but I'm more interested in fighting Beterbiev. I'm more interested in fighting Bivol. I'm more interested in going up and fighting Sudo Ramirez at cruiserweight. So these are the type of fights that really excite me. And I think, it's my best interest to give myself the best chance to win. I fought at 168 for 11 years. I've been professional. I've been professional. I got 12 years professional, 13 years professional now. But I gave it all I could give at 168, and I think it's better just to focus on 175 and let my body do what it has to do.
Yeah, that's probably the right decision. I actually had a 13-year professional career. I was like 25 when I turned professional. I retired like 37, 38. So I had about 13 years out of the pro game, and you know where your body is then. So you've probably grown into light heavyweight. So going down to super middle now, what are you, 6'2" as well? You're a big unit, aren't you?
Yeah, 6'2".
6'2". So yeah, super middleweight, 168 pounds. It's probably quite hard now for you to make, even though you're not old, because you're not in your mid-30s. Well, you're 28. You're still young, but is it tough to do the weight now?
Yeah, for me, I just felt like when I was the last fight I had at super middleweight, I felt like my not necessarily that I was. Well, yeah, I kind of felt a little bit weaker, but my stamina was going down. Like when you cut so much weight, like my stamina, like I wasn't able to go as hard for the long amount of rounds, you know, for
the end of
12
the fight,
rounds.
yeah, that's where it drains you. When you're dead at the weight, it drains you, doesn't it? And then 9, 10, 11, 12, the last 4 rounds, you're
Yeah,
just hanging in there,
exactly,
basically.
exactly. But then sometimes when you get in there with a good fighter, dangerous fighter, that's when those rounds are really crucial. So, like I
Yeah,
said, for me, to give myself the best opportunity to win, like I gotta be good all 12 rounds.
yeah, you don't want to be in with a Cobra struggling for the last 4 rounds.
Exactly. I don't want to get
Coming on
Jermaine
strong
Taylor.
at the end. So you're at light heavyweight now. You got Bivol, Beterbiev dominating that division currently. I mean, I know Beterbiev's about. I don't know what he's got left because he's getting old himself. What is he, like 40 years old, 41? I mean,
Like 42, I think.
is he? So I mean, he's in great shape and whatever. Like Bernard Hopkins went on for years. These guys are kind of right at the end of the career, especially Beterbiev. There's 1-1 though between them two. Who do you think would win the trilogy if they fought again?
To be honest with you, I feel like it should have been two on Bivol's part. I thought he won the first fight.
Really? Yeah, a lot of people
Yeah,
agree with that.
but it was. I mean, it's been a good 2 fights. You know what I mean? I think Bivol just has Beterbiev's card, and I think just the way he boxes, the way he uses the ring. You know, Bivol. You know, he's a good fighter. He has a good IQ, and Beterbiev, he's like more of a one punch type of guy, you know what I mean? And especially when you fight, when you have a great jab like how Bivol does and is able to move around the ring, you're able to, you know, figure these guys out, especially if you have the gas tank to keep moving around the whole fight, you know what I mean? And I think Bivol has his card, to be honest with you, and I think Bivol wins the 3rd fight when they do fight.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard to disagree with that. The work rate and the sort of finesse that Bivol brings in. Top fighter. He's got a lot of work rate as well, fast hands. And obviously Beterbiev slowing down a little bit. So it's interesting. I was speaking to Lennox Lewis about yourself recently, and I was saying about top fighters. Who do you rate now? Who excites you? And your name came straight into it. He said David Benavidez. I'm really excited about that fighter.
I'd like to see him jump in there with Benavidez.
Yeah.
Benavidez.
That's my guy right there. He's a serious contender.
Do you think he's swerving him, Canelo?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, just a blatant straight out swerve. Don't fancy it.
Yeah, definitely. The man's a boogeyman in one sense. He's like, you know, who is out there to give him a good fight? I don't see anybody out there to give him a good fight. He's that good.
What about Bivol? Because Bivol beat Canelo, that'd be an interesting fight, wouldn't it? Bivol, Benavidez, Dimitri Bivol.
Benavidez and Bivol. I'm still picking Benavidez on that one.
He is quality and a classy operator.
Yes, he
I
is.
saw him against Caleb Plant, and that was a great fight. That was.
Yeah,
that's definitely an honor for me. And like I said, yeah, I think now what really motivates me is, you know, like I said, having the support from you guys, you know, all the legends and stuff, and you know, really just wanting to show the world who I am. I think the CompuBox like most accurate punchers came out, and I was number 2 at one of the most accurate punchers in boxing. So I think that just really shows the level of where I am. So, you know, by the time my career is finished, I want to be known as one of the greatest of my generation. So I still have a lot of work to do. But like I said, this doesn't scare me at all. If anything, it motivates me. And, you know, I just love the sport of boxing. And by the time I'm done, I'm going to accomplish everything I set out to accomplish.
Yeah, you know what? It's good to hear. You still got that desire for the sport. And you've still got plenty of years left in front of you as well. I was about to say, Lennox Lewis said that he'd love to see you face Bivol, actually. I mean, I think that would be a great fight as well. How would you see that one going, you and Bivol?
I would beat Bivol. I used to spar him a lot. The last time
really?
I sparred him, I used to spar him in Los Angeles at the Wild Card. And actually, the last time I sparred him, I rocked him. We sparred 4 rounds, and I rocked him in the last round. And there was a lot of people there. You know, I don't gotta lie to nobody. You know, I'm telling you the truth. That's why I'm really confident in myself that I could go in there beat Dimitri Bivol. It won't be easy because, like I said, he's a great fighter. But at the end of the day, this is what we're here for. We're here to compete. You know, I want to compete against the best, and I want to show the world who I am. I've been sparring world champions since I was 14 years old. I sparred Kelly Pavlik, 14. I sparred Golovkin.
Kelly Pavlik, that's some fighter.
Yeah, I sparred him when I was 14 years old, and then I sparred Golovkin at 15, from 15 all the way to 19. So I've been in there with all of them. I've been sparring. I sparred Surdo Ramirez too. I sparred Bivol a lot. You know, I sparred him a lot. So I know I have what it takes, and I just want to show the world, you know, what I could do.
So you was 15 years old sparring Golovkin. How did that go?
It went great. That's how I'm at the level I'm at now, because Golovkin, every time I'd get in the ring with Golovkin, that guy hit so hard, but he never went easy on me. I was his top sparring partner from 15 all the way to 19. And, you know, if you ever see Golovkin or you ever see any interviews, they'll tell you about how I did with him. And Golovkin, he's a class act. You know, Golovkin is top. He taught me a lot. He let me train with him for years. And, you know, I mean, I'm super grateful for that guy because he really got me at the level I'm at today.
Wicked, man. I'll tell you what, you back yourself, which is great because you've got to back yourself because you're when you believe in yourself and you're at the level you're at. Obviously, backing yourself's a big one, but I've got to ask you, mate, how would you back yourself? Prime David Benavidez, the monster, against the prime Cobra, Froch. How's that one going? Come on, just be honest. I don't mind.
That would be a fight. That would be a legendary fight. It would be a great fight, and I'll just leave it at that.
Yeah. Well, listen, I asked ChatGPT earlier, and what did he say? Predicted a razor-close fight.
Yeah.
Benavidez edges it slightly. That didn't even hurt me, to be honest, because, you know, I don't mind being beat up by ChatGPT. Maybe 7-5 or 8-4 on the cut. 7-5 or 8-4? Hang on, who wrote this?
Honestly, it would be an honor to step in there with the Cobra. Like I said, I watched you, you know, for a long time. Honestly, I think I started watching when I was like 8, 9 years old, and you were just beating everybody up. I remember when you came. Well, when you guys did that Super 6 tournament, you were just beating the shit out of everybody. So, you know, like I said, it would just be an honor to be in the ring with a legend like yourself.
Listen, we're not going to be fighting each other anytime soon. ChatGPT's got you as one. It says you dragged me into a late fight war. Say stoppage now, no stoppage. Just beat me up on points in a war. You know, I can take that. I'll tell you what, you've been watching my career that long. You mentioned the Jermaine Taylor fight. I won the title in 2008 against Jean Pascal. And that was my first defense in America against Jermaine Taylor. I got dropped in round 3 and then obviously climbed off the floor. And then after stopping him in round 12, my first fight after that Jermaine Taylor fight then was the Super 6 tournament, which you went in. That'd be great now if you could get a Super 6 with you guys in, maybe at light heavyweight, because then everyone's got to fight everyone. I don't know if there's... I suppose there is enough light heavyweights around. You could get a good 6 light heavyweights together. You'd definitely be up there as being a favourite. But you've got Bivol as well, Beterbiev. You know what I mean? Anthony Yarde.
That would honestly be amazing. I think we should run that idea through Turkey Al-Sheikh, and maybe he can make that happen.
Yeah, maybe. He makes a lot of things happen, Turkey does. Right, let's have a look. We're nearly through. We're doing 12 rounds, by the way. I forgot to announce that at the beginning because... I couldn't find my script. It was my knobhead producer. And talking about knobheads, who would you say the biggest knobhead in boxing is?
The biggest what?
Knobhead.
Oh, knobhead. What does that mean exactly?
You know, like, so he's a bit of a knobhead here, a bit of a dickhead, bit of an idiot.
Oh,
not
Canelo.
a bad insult. It's just a little
Canelo
insult.
for sure.
There's loads of knobheads in boxing, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a lot of them. There's not a shortage of those. But honestly, the first one, Canelo, you know, I feel like he's really full of himself. And, you know, not that I dislike him, but he's just kind of annoying sometimes. So I definitely do give that title to him.
Yeah. Listen, mate, I'm not going to argue with you. You want to call him a knobhead, that's great. But I'm stood behind you in that one. I don't think he's going to fight you, though, anytime soon. He's about finished now, Canelo. Obviously, got a lot of respect from a lot of fans. He's been great for the sport. I mean, he was the face of boxing for so many years. But I do agree, he should have fought you. That fight was there for him, and never taking it. Give the fight fans what they want. It's a massive fight. It's a big payday fight as well. Surely Turkey will get involved in that, because why not? But anyway, moving on from that, I've got your biggest knobhead. So your style's really sort of aggressive. You're a big puncher as well. You know, when you're connecting with your shots, combination punchers as well. But is there anybody that inspired you to fight the way you do, or have you always had that kind of style?
Yeah, so I had a lot of people that inspired me. I like Roy Jones. I liked Prince Nassim Hamed. I like Marco Antonio Barrera, Roberto Duran, Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler, Manny Pacquiao. You know, like when I say I'm really a boxing enthusiast, that's all I spent my time as a kid, you know, watching so much boxing. And even the boxers today, you know, I like Tank, I like Ryan. And you know, I really, what I do is every time I watch a boxing fight or I watch a boxing fighter, if the fighter does something good that I like, I take that and I try to practice it in the gym. You know, I think that's just how you stay above ahead of the opposition. You always try to innovate. You always try to try new things, and you know, it definitely worked for me. You know, obviously I'm Mexican, so I like the Mexican fighting style. I like digging to the body, but I also like throwing combinations. You know, I like throwing you know, not just one punch, but I also like throwing like a bunch of punches. And I just try to do everything. You know, in boxing, you can't always do the same thing over and over again. You have to have a plan A, B, and C.
You certainly do. And you know them names you mentioned there, like Barrera and Morales and that, some of them fights. And Roy Jones Jr., my greatest of all time, and Prince Nassim Hamed, your first two that you picked. Nassim Hamed was the reason I got back into boxing at 19, because I didn't box from 15 years old to 19. Just moved out of town, and my mum got a pub, and I was just in the pub, and the boxing club was miles away. So anyway, I had 4 years out of boxing. And when I was watching Prince Nassim Hamed jump over the top rope and throw big uppercuts from out of range and knocking everyone out, that's why I got back into the boxing gym, for watching him. So the names you've mentioned there, it's mad, that list, Roberto Duran, it's all the list of my all-time greats. It's uncanny, that is. But you've mentioned a real top crop of fighters there that I can totally agree with. So brilliant, that. Right, round number 11. You've got a big fight next week coming up. Chris Eubank Jr. and Conor Benn in the rematch. Who are you backing in that one?
Man, the first fight was so great. You know, to be honest with you, I was expecting for the first fight, I was expecting Chris Eubank to go in there and just wash Conor Benn. But Conor Benn has showed that, you know, he's a strong fighter. That was his first fight at 160, I think. You know, so that's why I kind of had Eubanks winning. But, you know, Conor Benn he's proved himself to be strong at that weight class. So, you know, I don't know. I think I got Conor Benn winning the second fight. You know, it was a good fight.
Really?
You know, I think he knows what he needs to do to win this fight. But we could all, even if he doesn't win, we could expect a war. You know, those guys are just going to go in there and give a hell of a fight to the fans.
Yeah, it turned into a real cracker, didn't it? I mean, from round one, it was good. Conor Benn caught Chris Eubank. Was it round 2 or round 3? Caught him with a hook. Chris looked a bit unsteady.
Yeah, honestly, he hurt him a lot in that fight. You know, I don't know if it might have been the weight cut, because Chris Eubanks, he was fighting at 168, and I don't remember the last time he fought at 160. So, I mean, he's a big guy. He kind of had trouble. I feel like he probably had trouble making the weight. So he was getting hurt a lot in that fight. But, you know, like I said, he found the energy and everything he needed to finish that fight. And he also hurt Conor in was it the last round? Or he hurt Conor a couple times too.
Yeah,
so
he had him in the last round. He put pressure on him. He was on top of him. He got clipped himself in round 3, and you're right. He showed a lot of resilience and grit. I'm not sure Chris Eubank Jr. can do that again. I think he's 37 years old, or coming up to 37. Conor Benn's younger, and he's kind of very ambitious. He's up out of his weight class at 160, so he proved that he's very tough and strong, and he can do it. But remember when Chris Eubank Jr. got battered by Liam Smith? He was weight cut for that. He came down in weight. So if he's having to cut weight again at 160, He's getting older. He's had that war there with Conor Benn. Conor Benn's going to grow from that first fight because he didn't get beat up. He was in a good fight, a good learning fight. When you're young, you can take them fights, but when you're older, you can't really take them. So I think Conor Benn for me is the favourite. You've picked Conor Benn there, and I'm slightly edging towards Conor Benn myself, but it will be a good fight. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, no, it's definitely going to be a good fight. And like I said, even if hopefully it's like the first fight, honestly, because I haven't seen a war like that in a long, long time. So it's definitely a great fight. So we're all going to be definitely in for a treat next weekend.
Absolutely, looking forward to that one. Right, last bit of trivia for you. I mean, we're in round 12 now. This is flowing. I feel like I could talk to you for an hour. We need a long podcast form and go through a few of your favourite fights, but we ain't got the time. I don't want to keep you too long. I appreciate you jumping on as well. But the final one, a bit of trivia. I headlined Wembley Stadium 11 years ago, knocked out a guy called George Groves. Do you know what the attendance was that evening for the fight?
I do know. I think it was like 80,000.
80,000 fans at Wembley Stadium. You've heard it by the monster, David Benavidez himself. He knows.
I remember watching that fight, and I'm like, damn, that actually motivated me to one day fight in at the Wembley Stadium. You know, I don't know how you guys do it. You guys, the people over there, they just have such great energy, and they all show up to the fight. So hopefully one day I could get a fight out there with somebody, somebody out there, maybe me and Ben Whittaker or anybody out there. You know, I think that would be a great fight. But that's definitely
you and Ben Whittaker. What do you make of him?
I think he's a good fighter, but he's still too green right now. You know, to be honest with you, I think he's a good fighter, but he needs more experience. But hopefully in the future we can make that happen. You know, like I said, it's one of my dream lists to fight out there at the Wembley Stadium. Like I said, it's just the crowd and the energy out there is just amazing.
Well, if Ben Whittaker can do what a lot of people around him are saying he can do and end up becoming a world champion, you're only 28, you're 29 next month, so you've still got a good, probably as long as you want, 4, 5, 6 years, depending on how you keep yourself and if the desire's still there. So that's a potential fight. And the fact that you know Ben Whittaker and you've got sort of one eye on him, that's very interesting. So Ben Whittaker, potential Wembley Stadium there. I don't think you'll do 80,000. I reckon you'll do 79,000. That'd be a big one, I thought.
Yeah.
But listen, you've got massive fans. You've got a big fan base in Britain. A lot of the boxing purists know you. Maybe the armchair fans haven't quite heard of you yet. But whenever I'm talking boxing to anybody, like I mentioned to Lennox the other day and your name came up, your name comes up so often because you're a respected quality operator, unbeaten, big puncher, good speaker. You look the part as well, if I do say so myself. Is there anything you want to say to any of your British fans who are going to be watching this?
No, yeah, I'm excited, man. And like I said, I'm just very grateful that I have fans out there. You know, I have a lot of fans. I've done a lot of interviews from reporters from Britain, and I've had a lot of people message me through Instagram. So I'm just grateful to be the type of fighter that people out there in England watch. You know what I mean? I'm very happy. I'm very grateful to have the fans that I have, and I'm going to continue to give you guys great fights. And like I said, hopefully one day we could go fight at Wembley Stadium, and that'd definitely be something that I'll be looking forward to.
That'd be awesome. Well, listen, you deserve all the applause. You deserve all the following, even at this side of the Atlantic, which is a long way from America. But you thoroughly deserve it because you're a top fighter and you're exciting to watch. I'm really looking forward to next week. So good luck. Hope the rest of the camp goes well. Thanks for joining us here on Froch on Fighting. Really appreciate it. And hopefully, I'm sure we will. We'll catch up again very soon.
Yes, sir. Thank you, brother.
What a great interview that was. Really enjoyed it. I needed 2 hours. Half an hour was not long enough. He's a proper boxing fan as well. Prince Nassim Hamid, Marco Antonio Barrera, El Terrible, Eric Morales. I mean, he knows all the names. Roy Jones Jr. He's going to know Roy Jones, isn't he? But this is a proper boxing fan. And more importantly than all of that, he knows who the Cobra is. He knows how many people I've fought in front of at Wembley Stadium. But anyway, I know that. A lot of people know the Cobra. But listen, we've got Conor Benn coming at the weekend. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. Keep tuning in, and we'll see you very soon.